Well, today, guys, we are returning to the UK. We've got some crazy updates to go over, a number of crazy things to talk about in this video. Let's start with this news article from Sky News where they say the US accuses UK of significant human rights issues and restricting free speech. Sir Kier Starmer has previously defended the UK's record on free speech after concerns were raised by US Vice President J.D. Vance, with the pair sharing a rather awkward exchange in the Oval Office. So let's watch that clip first, then we'll get to the rest of the article.
We do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies, but we also know that there have been...
Oh dang, why that stupid pop-up, man. I wanted to pause and be like, guys, look at Starmer's face. He looks so uncomfortable.
The UK and also with some of our European allies, but we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom.
He likes to repeat that line over and over again. But it's really interesting how he says we've had, not like we have free speech and we've had it for a long time and we still have it, or something like that. Doesn't need to be that clunky sounding, but it seems almost like a Freudian slip. I don't mean in the context that a Freudian slip is supposed to be in, but it's like that same sort of concept where he's inadvertently kind of admitting that they don't have free speech anymore like they used to in the UK. With the phrasing where he keeps putting it in past tense.
And it will last for a very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right.
They literally have been doing that.
But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
Yeah, I've heard that before. So that was amusing, but let's continue on. The US State Department has accused the UK of having significant human rights issues, including restrictions on free speech. The unflattering assessment comes via a new version of an annual human rights practices report, with its publication coinciding with Vice President J.D. Vance's holiday in the Cotswolds. Cotswolds, excuse me. It says human rights in the UK worsened in 2024 with credible reports of serious restrictions on freedom of expression, as well as crimes, violence, or threats of violence motivated by anti-Semitism, since the October 7th Hamas attack against Israel. On free speech, while generally provided for, the report cites specific areas of concern around limits on political speech deemed hateful or offensive. That's offensive. Imagine the government coming after you because the government's offended. I mean, what's going on here, dude? Sir Kier Starmer has previously defended the UK's record on free speech after concerns were raised by Mr. Vance. In response to the report, a UK government spokesperson said, "Free speech is vital for democracy around the world, including here in the UK, and we are proud to uphold freedoms whilst keeping our citizens safe." The US report highlights Britain's public space protection orders, which allow councils to restrict certain activities in some public places to prevent anti-social behavior. It also references safe access zones around abortion clinics, which the Home Office says are designed to protect women from harassment or distress. They have been criticized by Mr. Vance before, notably back in February during a headline-grabbing speech at the Munich Security Conference. The report also criticizes the Online Safety Act and accuses ministers of intervening to chill speech about last summer's murders in Southport, highlighting arrests made in the wake of the subsequent riots. Ministers have said the Online Safety Act is about protecting children and repeatedly gone so far as to suggest people who are opposed to it are on the side of predators. This is something we've covered multiple times in the past. There's literally a clip of a Labour Party member. I'm forgetting his exact name right now. It is I think I know it, but I don't want to say the wrong name, so I'm not going to say it. But I think I remember. I think it's Peter Kyle is what I think it is. I should probably double check that just to be safe. Give me a second. Let me cut the clip and Google search really quick. Yeah, thankfully I got that one right. It was Peter Kyle. He had said right here, if you want to overturn the Online Safety Act, you are on the side of predators. It is as simple as that. And I thought he also said similar on a video clip as well, but maybe the clip was a little bit different. Point is, yeah, this guy said that thing. The report comes months after Sir Kier bit back at Mr. Vance during a summit at the White House, cutting in when Donald Trump's VP claimed there are, quote, infringements on free speech, unquote, in the UK. And as we've heard a million times, we've had free speech for a very long time. It will last a long time, and we are very proud of that. But Mr. Vance again raised concerns during a meeting with Foreign Secretary David Lammy at his country estate in Kent last week, saying he didn't want the UK to go down a very dark path. of losing free speech. The U.S. State Department's report echoes similar accusations made by Nigel Farage and Elon Musk. The Trump administration itself has been accused of trying to curtail free speech and stifle criticism, most notably by targeting universities, Harvard chief among them. And that's where the article ends, but we have a lot more to discuss, so let's carry on. As we have breaking news about the migrant situation in the UK, chaos at Canary Wharf Migrant Hotel as protesters claim migrant entered woman's home, but police let him go. All you can do is laugh sometimes, man. Chaos erupted outside a controversial Canary Wharf Migrant Hotel after a man believed to be staying there allegedly walked into a woman's house. I was going to say home because the freaking headline said home, but then it said house. So they got me with the switch up there. I apologize with my speech error. The man is said to have entered the house after being followed by a group of men on the street and told to go back to the hotel, where anti-migrant protesters were gathered outside. The Britannia International Hotel is being used to house hundreds of asylum seekers. The Met said the man had not been charged, as our initial investigation has not identified any offenses. They refused to say if he was a migrant staying at the hotel. I mean, in my opinion, that basically confirms it, but yeah. It comes as another group of up to 50 migrants arrived at the hotel at the crack of dawn this morning before being hurried inside by guards. The men were brought to the site in coaches around 5:34 a.m. today and told to run into the lobby to avoid cameras. The hotel has been a focus of protests in recent weeks after Tower Hamlets Council confirmed it had been handed over to the Home Office to house asylum seekers. Last night, the Met said its officers were investigating a complex set of circumstances. And so now we got some pictures here. Apparently, this is the guy who's being accused of entering a woman's home before being chased back to the hotel. Here's an image of the migrants apparently being hurried into the hotel with one dude really kind of tripping up the stairs almost. And you really got to wonder what the next frame is here. I mean, I'm just captivated by this image. Did he make it up the stairs or have some more difficulties? And then we got the coaches here letting the migrants off into the hotel and all that. And one more picture of the coaches. So, yeah. A statement said, "We are aware of videos circulating online relating to an incident that officers were called to at 18:07 hours on Wednesday, August 13th, at Marsh Wall E14. They say, "We understand a man entered a property through an open door, having been followed by a group of men in the street. The man has not been arrested at this time, as our initial investigation has not identified any offenses. We understand this is distressing for the occupants." What? Why is the framing almost like the dude who like walked into the woman's hotel as a victim? Like, oh yeah, it was an open door. He was being chased. He went in there, and they're like implying he was like justified to go in there to run away from like people that were attacking him or something. That's like kind of the implication that I personally, that's kind of like how I feel they're trying to frame this. You're welcome to agree or disagree, but like, yeah, I think this is kind of odd framing. So they even say they understand he entered the property, which makes it sound like he did in fact do that. And it's not just some like false accusation. But then they say there's no identified offenses. You really just like walk into anyone's house if the door is open in the UK. Like, I find that a bit hard to believe, but I don't know the UK law. Maybe that's true. Or maybe this is just some fluff to try and like protect this dude or something, which I find more likely. But again, I'm not an expert in UK law. I don't know for sure. Let's keep reading. In a separate incident following this, a 22-year-old woman was arrested on suspicion of common assault against a security guard, possession of an offensive weapon. What does that mean? Affray, possession of Class B drugs, and assault on an emergency worker. A Section 35 dispersal order was put in place in the vicinity of the area, and a 28-year-old man and a 57-year-old woman were arrested for breaching the order. This is a complex set of events, and we are working hard to investigate and understand what happened, reviewing officers' body-worn video and any other video footage. And check it out, I just found a video that shows part of the confrontation here with the police, minute and 17 seconds long, with the caption, "This is Britain. An asylum seeker living in the luxury 4-star Britannia hotel tried to enter a woman's house. Locals did a citizen arrest and handed him to the police. Police let him free." Let's take a look at the video now, shall we? Here we go. And I'm actually going to skip forward about halfway through because I was watching this thing and recording, and the first like 20 seconds of audio or so is just completely scuffed. You can't hear anything going on. So let's skip that part. Still messed up. Okay, there we go. Right about here is where we will proceed.
Sorry, everybody, could you make some space, please?
But entering someone's house,
Come through.
That's a lot more than trespassing. So if I went into someone's house, you'd do me for burglary? If there's suspicion of burglary, yes.
Oh, dang, the audio's still pretty bad. It was even worse before, though, in like the first 30 seconds or whatever.
Sorry, buddy.
So is the dude right there the accused migrant?
You're going to release him?
It's starting.
I can hear people like in surprise saying they're going to release him. Like they're in disbelief or something.
We've let him go about his business. But then when you enter people's houses, that's a different story.
Wait, that's crazy. So then they like I'm assuming they didn't take him in here. It seems like they escort him back to the hotel or something, right? Oh my gosh, what? What? So you got a whole group of people here testifying, so to speak, claiming that they saw this dude go in the house and all that, and based off the statement that we read in the article, it sounds like the police are not even trying to they're not even trying to refute that claim, right? But still, just okay, yeah, no, just let him go. Just let him be. So just let the migrants enter people's houses and get upset at the citizens for taking umbrage with that. Meanwhile, what the police are actually doing is, well, let's take a look here. UK police are now sending out female police officers undercover as joggers to stop catcalling. The UK is going through a migrant redacted crisis, and the police are watching out for wolf whistlers. What a joke. And let's check out this clip.
Friends out for a run, they're actually undercover police officers.
These women are not actually going out for a run, they are actually undercover police officers.
Taking to the streets in Surrey as part of a new operation trying to stop people catcalling and harassing female runners.
We get honked at, the staring, the hanging out of the window just to look at us, and it's so prevalent.
And police teams are ready to intervene the moment the officers are beeped at, followed, or shouted at.
Look, harassing is one thing, right? Like that can lead to like dangerous things, and I get it. I still think this is like a waste of police resources, but I don't want women being harassed while they run, obviously. I don't think anyone would want that. But they're saying like as simple as like a beep or like a whistle, which sure, that's like tacky, but is this really the best use of police resources? You got multiple officers doing the jog, then you got other police on standby waiting in cars to go after their own citizens for, at worst, being tacky, right? Meanwhile, the dude who's literally entering women's homes, and who knows what that guy would have done if no one was around to see it happen and stop him more or less by witnessing it all occurring and, you know, making a scene out of it, rightfully so. But hey, police not going to do anything about that guy. If anything, they escort him safely back to the hotel, and that's it. And then what the police actually do is this.
Followed or shouted at, pulling people over.
Oh my
Those
gosh.
kind of behaviours may not be criminal offences in themselves, but they still need to be addressed. And of course, the people that are likely to commit those kind of behaviours, you know, they may then go on to commit more serious offences or more serious behaviours.
After what we just read and watched about the whole migrant thing, this just feels like such a complete clown show. I cannot believe this is what's going on in the UK, man. I feel bad for my viewers in the UK. This is just insane. Now back to the article about the migrant situation and the hotel incident. We left off on this paragraph. There's just a few more things to go over here, so let's finish this up too. Another video posted on TikTok shows a group of onlookers questioning the police about why the man had not been arrested. The 4-star hotel has been a flashpoint for protest in recent weeks. Then we got this image that says a protester who was asked to remove his face mask shouts at a police officer whilst taking part in the Stand Up to Racism rally outside the Britannia International Hotel on Friday. And officers made 2 arrests on Friday during clashes between anti-migrant protesters and anti-fascists. What does this have to do with fascism? Seriously, come on. That's just so ridiculous. I mean, realistically, if anything, the police are being fascistic towards their own citizens when the citizens have very reasonable concerns and are rightfully doing what they can to protect each other, and the police are impeding them. But are the anti-fascists calling out the cops and their fascist behavior? No, they are not doing that, are they? They're calling out the people who are criticizing the police. Can you make sense of that? What? Like I said, all I can do is laugh sometimes, man. Just so absurd. More than 50,000 small boat migrants have crossed the channel since Starmer took office. Cumulative migrant crossings to English Channel over each prime minister's tenure. So when you take a look at this, Starmer comes in third place, with Johnson and Sunak having more crossings. But important context, Johnson was prime minister for about 3 years, I think it is. Sunak around 2 years. And Starmer about a year and a half, or not even a year and a half, actually. It's like a year and 2 months, I think, something like that. So at this trajectory, Starmer is set to just skyrocket past both Sunak and Johnson, if I'm understanding the data properly. And then we've got a few more paragraphs here. On Friday, a crowd of anti-migrant protesters descended on the hotel to be met by counter-demonstrators. Officers were seen pinning some activists on the ground with 2 arrests made. One was an anti-migrant protester who was detained after a bottle was thrown at officers. The other was a member of the counter-protest group who was arrested for failing to remove their face covering. The main road outside the hotel was blocked by hundreds of demonstrators shouting, "Save our kids." Police had to rapidly mobilize to contain a group of anti-fascist activists arriving at South Quay Station to confront anti-migrant protesters as they held signs that said, "No human is illegal," and chanted, "Refugees have the right, here to stay, here to fight." Oh my gosh, man, who makes up these sayings? Come on, guys, you can come up with better material than that, right? I mean, I guess not, but you know, I would hope they could. It is surprising though that the police actually arrested one of the anti-fascists. Wait, well, they said one of the counter-protesters, right, who presumably was also part of the anti-fascist group, which, again, I find funny that they are essentially on the side of the cops, but, you know. More than 100 police officers moved to Kettle the group, outside the tube station for breaching the peace. People then made their way into the town as the main road outside the hotel was closed. Dozens were carrying flags, leading chants of "Kier Starmer is a..." What is that word? Any of my UK viewers want to fill us in? Maybe don't do that, actually. I mean, if you type that in on YouTube, you never know. They might, the algorithm might not like your comment. I don't know. I don't know what that word is. Maybe don't do that. And send them home. Then we got some more images here. Migrants leave a beach in northern France in a smuggler's boat yesterday. Watching on, a French gendarme watches the boat with a pair of binoculars. The scenes were pictured on the beach of Hardlot in... Oh gosh, I'm not even going to try that one. Yeah, that's just going to sound... I'm going to butcher that for sure, so let's just skip that. Daily small boat arrivals under labor. So we can see a year's worth of data here with July 2024 at the left side and July 2025 here on the right side. And it looks like right around the beginning of July 2025 was the highest point here at almost 1,200. A record 107 small boat migrants reached Britain in just one dinghy yesterday, confounding Labour's pledge to smash the gangs. Images from the port of Dover showed human traffickers have begun to deploy a new longer type of inflatable. The dinghy, which can barely be described as a small boat, was recovered in the channel and taken to Dover, where it was being examined by border force and law enforcement, GB News reported. It brought 107 migrants to Britain overnight, smashing the previous record of 96 people aboard one inflatable. The appearance of the larger type of dinghy further undermines Labour's decision to concentrate on law enforcement responses to smash the gangs. Kier Starmer scrapped the previous Conservative government's Rwanda asylum scheme as one of his first acts in office, just as it was finally ready to get off the ground. The Rwanda scheme was designed to make crossing the channel pointless because migrants would be sent to Rwanda to claim asylum there instead of here. On Monday alone, there were 474 channel arrivals, pushing the total past 50,000 since Labour came to power. I'm still stuck on that Rwanda thing, though. Can you imagine that? Oh, you thought you were going to cross this small channel of water and come into the UK, huh? Okay. Yeah, no, we're actually putting you back on the water all the way to Africa. Then you got to go just... what is it, like hundreds of miles into Africa, probably thousands of miles into Africa to get to Rwanda? Yeah, see ya, bye-bye, have fun with that. And lastly, let's take a look at this. The foreign governments warning citizens about the dangers of visiting crime-ridden Britain. Australia, France, Canada, and even Mexico. Mexico is advising their citizens to exercise caution when traveling to the UK. Oh, you're cooked when frickin' Mexico is telling you not to go to the UK. Look, Mexico is awesome. But it's well known that there is a lot of gang problems in Mexico, cartel, stuff going on there. So that's what I'm getting at. Before Samuel traveled from Australia to the UK last October, his friends and family warned him about London's reputation for crime. I had planned to travel all around Europe, says the 27-year-old architecture student from Sydney, but my parents said once you get to London, you need to be really careful. Conversations about the soaring robbery and theft rates in London are commonplace for Australian travelers visiting the UK, says Samuel. Everyone knows of somebody in Australia that's had their phone stolen in London, he says. It's definitely common to hear. The warnings in Australia, everyone knows that. Despite the warnings, Samuel became one of around 80,000 people whose phones were stolen in London last year. No way. So he actually did get his phone stolen. Wow. Walking up a flight of stairs at Euston Station with his mobile in his back pocket, he noticed he had been pickpocketed when he reached the top. The experience had such an impact on him that he still finds himself checking his pockets in Australia, even though phone theft is non-existent out there, if this story is true. I mean, it seems like a common thing, but you never know when it's just text and article, just saying. Warnings about London's crime are not just hearsay out in Australia. They are now being issued by the Australian government. I like how the article actually just addressed what I was basically saying. That's kind of cool. About the hearsay stuff. So let's see what the government's saying about this in Australia. The government website Smart Traveller has raised the UK travel advice from a level 1 to a level 2 warning, urging Australians to exercise a high degree of caution when visiting Britain, adding that petty crime is common, including pickpocketing, and alerting readers to thieves who use scooters and bicycles to snatch belongings. We got some more data. Mobile phone thefts on the rise. Number of mobile phone thefts London. And we can see, so it dropped during lockdown, presumably, like 2020, 2021. But ever since 2022, it's been increasing more and more, although 2023 and 2024 are kind of leveling off, but still increasing. Interesting. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave this one for today. The rest of that article seems to go on and give more anecdotes, and I think we get the point. So yeah, I don't have much else to say on this. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy this video, you enjoyed my coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing. Helps out the channel greatly, and I appreciate it. And I'll see you in the comments here and in the next one.